Good morning, and welcome into the Unpacking Podcast. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Let me just get this all set up right here, gentlemen. As we are getting close to wrapping up season 1 of the Unpacking Pod, I am very excited to welcome our final guest of this year. On today's pod is a cherished friend of myself and Vishayan. As an OG enjoyer of all things weeb culture, she's been enjoying anime, cosplay, arts, and idols before it was cool. But that doesn't stop her from staying cool after all these years. With a history in fashion design before becoming an independent streamer in the early VTuber days, this cybergirl likes to explore the net and bring her community niche aesthetic experiences. Whether it's drifting away to some angelic ASMR or during a coffee at the 404 Cafe, she always aims to make her corner of the internet a comfortable and welcoming place. This is your cyber desktop tenchy buddy stuck in the wires. It's KK Cyber! KK! Good morning! Good morning, welcome in. It is a pleasure to have you on the pod. Thank you so much. We had so many different rearrangements, but I'm actually genuinely so happy you're here. And it's actually an honor to have you as the final person guest on this season of the pod, my debut little thingy, because I had the pleasure to be on one of your little talk shows once. So it feels like a beautiful little full circle moment. I'm so happy about it. So thank you.
I was so happy to see that you even started your own podcast and started your own little chatty session, because I feel like it's just such a nice way to get to know people that you already have an existing,
Absolutely.
maybe not even just acquaintance, but just having a connection with. And the whole reason I even had you on was because I was like, wow, Jets is so cool, and like so much stuff that I like.
Yeah.
I just wanted a chance to be able to just yap without having to worry about a game,
right?
worry about other stuff, and
It's so
be
true.
Comfortable just digging a little deeper. So
And when
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. And when we have such busy schedules as streamers with lives inside and outside of things, to have the pod to have you're forced to sit down for 2 hours and we're just gonna talk and have a nice time, deal with it.
Yeah, help me. I'm chained.
Yeah, she's tied up to the chair. We've got you on the what is it, the lie detector. Now KK Cyber, what do you really feel about armpits?
No, I think they're base, and if you don't think so, then fuck you, man. You don't get it. You don't understand.
All right,
okay.
I think we're setting the scene. I feel like I've been enjoying with a lot of the guests, going back even before streaming and asking them so have you always been a weeb? And I feel like because you are unabashed, oh yeah, no, I enjoy my weeby stuff. I enjoy this. Were you baby weeb, KK Cyber?
Yeah.
You look infant with the anime.
Exactly. And it was just pure coincidence. Growing up, I grew up with Pokemon and Sailor Moon on cable.
Yeah. What was your first arcade? I'm sorry, a first console thing.
Growing up, my mom insisted that I wasn't allowed to have consoles, but I could have a handheld. Ooh. But these kids that were there was a brother that was the same age as my sister, and another boy that was the same age as me, and then they had a little brother. I'm the baby, so.
Oh, you're baby.
But they had an SNES, and I was like, dude, video games. But my mom was like, no, I'm not getting you a console. You'll never leave the house. But she did at least get me a Game Boy Color. And eventually I got a DS, and I had so many handhelds. So the joke was on them, though, was that even though I had handhelds, I still didn't go outside. Because I would just stay inside on my DS all day and
just sit there gaming.
Yeah.
Pokemon. What was your first Pokemon?
I'm an old head. So my first one was still Red.
Expose the Tenchi hag love. Red? Is that good, boys?
Red. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the first one. That was Red and Blue were the bread and butter. That was the inception, right? So
yeah. And that's
my first anime was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when's your first anime? What's that?
So my mom rented a copy of My Neighbor Totoro on a whim on a VHS. When I at a Blockbuster, because like she was working full time, my dad worked full time, so they would usually be like, "All right, get in the car, we're going to grandma's house. Here's your VHS. They'll take care of you, and then we'll come pick you up tomorrow when we're done with like work and stuff, and like you get to have a little sleepover with grandma and grandpa." And I was like, my grandpa was so cool. He would like spoil me with like a frozen Coke, and I'd be like, "Yes."
I mean, as a kid, that's basically
watch,
that's the best thing ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I got to watch My Neighbor Totoro, and every single week I was like, I want to watch this one. And my mom's like, "You watched this one last week? Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Nothing else is like this." And I didn't know why. I was like, but like nothing else is like this one movie. I need this one. So that's where it all started. And
so that's like was the spark. And then when you went into like, I guess like from like adolescence into early schooling, were you still kind of that little more of the nerdier, if that's the way you would have described yourself? How would you describe yourself like through like early schooling? Did it persist, or did you try and like pivot out of it?
Oh, I tried so hard to pivot out of it.
Really?
However,
Okay.
Yes, but I didn't. I was very unsuccessful.
Because you can take the KK out of the anime, but you can't take the anime out of the KK.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was still in. I had like my emo phase in high school.
Oh,
so,
really?
Of course, like my school was like mostly like the preps, right? So
prep school.
I was still trying to be a little out there, right? A little on the fringe. But even in middle school, I was still unabashedly a weeb. I would like carry my Naruto manga around. And I've told the Cedars before.
Go on.
That in case any Jetpack don't know, the Cedars are my chatters, my supporters.
Yes, the Cedars. Lovely.
Yes. In gym class, I was convinced. I was very, very like chuny, or like I was like, I thought I had magic powers. So I was convinced.
Yep. Okay, amazing.
The ninjutsu hand signs, that I would boost my chakras in gym class, because I was a very slow runner. So I did that like every gym class. And
so cool. That's right, chat. So cool. Beast mode.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you were like, did you have like a ragtag group of friends like throughout a lot of like adolescence that were along the same page as you, or were you always like, was it from like a large school, so there was other people kind of in the weeb culture at that time?
So I went to a really small school, because I went to a Catholic school. So that's
pious Christian Tenchi.
Exactly. Why do you think
good honor heaven?
Yeah, exactly. But so like I had this one friend that showed me DeviantArt. I had no clue what DeviantArt was, and like.
Okay, how old are you? Roughly.
I'm eternally 17. What do you?
Okay. But like, okay, then at what point in your 17 existence was?
I think how old was I at the time? Let me think.
Around like middle school-ish?
Probably
you find DeviantArt?
Yeah, middle school.
Okay,
so
middle
like
school.
Like 12, 13 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had already had internet access.
Oh, you okay?
Like I was talking to some friends recently about, we were just like reminiscing on like old internet, and I was talking about a throwback moment for me, or like my earliest claim to fame was I joined like an AOL Kids chat room. Yeah. And wrote 8 = D, and I got banned, and my dad got an email about it, and I so much trouble, because they were like, "What is this? Where did you hear this?" Like,
comedian. It's just a smiley face with a long nose, Dad. What do you mean?
Literally, God forbid you, right? And then you put the little tildes. Exactly. Yeah, I was always acting up. I mean, just like I loved the computer growing up too. I still remember. Have you played any Mech Warrior? I still haven't gone back to it.
I've had it on my to play for a while. It's inevitable for me to play Mech Warrior.
my grandma and grandpa's computer was like a Windows 95, and they had a Mech Warrior demo disc that I used to play, and that game is so freaking hard, especially if you're 6 years old. And
Absolutely. Yeah. But you was like, I gotta do this. This is great.
Right? It was so sick. I was just so obsessed with like the vibe of it, and I had no clue what I was doing, and my mech would always get blown up or fall over, but I was like, dude, this is freaking sick.
Yes. So you get friends in middle school shows you TV and art. Is this when you go, oh, anime art is a thing? Were you ever like a sketchbook kid as well?
Yeah.
I can imagine that.
I had sketchbooks growing up, and I had like little art books, and especially once I met this one friend, and she showed me like, do you know what like Oikaki or like Paint BBS was like it was like a Flash program that you could paint if you didn't have like Photoshop or like early paint programs, you could paint and like do digital art within your browser basically.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Yeah, so she showed me that, and I did like a bunch of really terrible mouse drawings, but I had like how to draw manga books from the library, and like I was super into it. Yeah, she was so good at it, and it was the first time that I knew that drawing tablets were a thing.
Really? That's really like I feel like OG drawing tablet stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the first few like Wacom Bamboo, like the plastic ones that you just had a little pen, plug it in the USB. Before screen tablets were a thing, it was like I remember going to her house once for a project, and her showing me her tablet, and me being like, "Whoa, this is so sick! You mean you can draw on the computer?" Like,
so cool. Wait, well, I wonder. So this is like middle school, and you're like, I'm assuming like your family are very much like, okay, supportive. They're like, yeah, you're a weeb, you like consoles and gamers, and this is your hobby and your interest. Did you go to many like conventions and stuff when you were younger, like throughout high school and middle school?
No,
that came later.
I was like, I was still pretty sheltered, I would say, because again, like my mom and dad were just working all the time, so a lot of my like exposure to weeb stuff was either through the like 2 people at my school that also liked anime, or through the internet usually, right? So learning about anime through like Gaia, they would have like promotions for certain anime that was coming out, or going to YouTube and like watching
Lucky Star in
5
episodes.
Yes. I think I watched all of Chobits in like 3 different parts per episode, and like you had to really dig around for some parts sometimes.
I mean, like sometimes one bit's missing. You're like, I've seen like 90% of Lucky Star, so for like maybe 2.5 episodes.
Yeah, and I know like the cable we had, we didn't have like an anime channel, but the cable we had like a video on demand service that was like, you could watch random episodes for free, but they was never like the first episode, so it would just be random episodes in the season. And I was like, I love anime. I will watch it, whatever. I don't care if I don't have context. I just wanted to watch it because it was sick.
The Japanese drawings, I need them right now in front of
me. Yeah. And of course we had like Toonami and stuff, so it was a good day if I could finally get home and like get the TV away from my older sister to be able to watch like Hamtaro or like Card Captors and stuff like that. It was a fucking good day.
Hell yeah. Watch that. So going through like middle school and stuff being weird, when you were in high school, because obviously when we were all going through our schooling, none of us knew VTubing was a thing, and a lot of us have like ended up here in some crazy ways. Like, you okay with talking about like what you would kind of where your game plan or your head was at, like going out of high school into like university, into the world? Like what was the KK plan before everything else fell into places? Like when did you start like because I know you have spent time in like, you know, arts culture and convention culture and cosplay culture. Where does that fall into it after being like at the end of high school?
So the irony is, originally after high school, I was like you know how it is, like the usual gifted kids program where they convince you that you're like really smart, and then you like realize you're not actually that smart, you're just like average.
Young and gifted to like, what's the thing they say? It's like young and gifted to burnt out millennial pipeline.
Right, yeah. So
Yeah.
I originally, when I was going to university, I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to be an audio engineer. So I enrolled in like calculus and physics and like engineering courses. And I crashed out so hard because they were all so difficult. And I had like no one I knew previous to, like, most people from my high school went to different, like, most of my friends either were still in high school because they were a year younger than me, or they went to a different college. So that, and it was like kind of coming to terms with being a woman in STEM was so difficult.
I was going to ask, did you find a new hub, or going into that like part of the study you couldn't really find other people to connect with?
Yeah, so it was a lot of like, I remember one semester trying to find like a calc tutor because I was failing the class because it was hard and I didn't understand it. Because I mean, like, I eventually did pass the class, so like I wasn't as stupid as I thought I was. But like, example, I had a calc tutor that I signed up for through the school, and the guy would not stop messaging me and like kept trying to pick me up every time we had a tutoring session. And I was like, dude, like, I just don't want to fail my class. Bro. Can you not do this?
Brother. Okay, yeah. Wow. You're like, I just want to pass. I could maybe like a pal, but not you, buddy. Like,
right.
Oh, geez.
And it's like, I didn't want to drop out of college because I didn't know what else to do. I was working part-time at a movie theater, and I was like, well, I don't want to like just work crappy jobs my whole life. And of course didn't know that like the internet, like, it was like, I would say like before, like, YouTube was still kind of early days at that era, like at that point, like there's people like Smosh and
the
I don't
OGs.
know who the other, I'm sure
Ryan
Markiplier was like starting off,
all those kinds of people.
Yeah, like PewDiePie was starting off still, and like content creation and like Instagram and stuff like that was still like, social media was really taking off at that point, but no one really was like monetizing it from my perspective. Or it was only for like the select few. So but I knew I still loved the internet. I had like a Tumblr blog at the point still, and I would just complain about how miserable I was, and how much everyone in my class pissed me
sipping
off.
up popcorn in my movie theater job, and calc teacher was being a creephole. Did you have many online friends? Or was it mainly you just kind of vibing in your own corner? Do you have any like online mutuals at the time going out of like into university?
So once I was in university, that's actually how I met Mimi. Was we were online, we like followed each other's Tumblrs and found out that we lived like somewhat close to each other. And I was like, hey, like, we both like anime. Would you ever want to hang out? And she's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, come on by. She was living in like a more college town area, because the college I went to was mostly commuter campus. There was still stuff to hang around, and I had friends who lived in the area by the time I got like further in my program, which I totally like. We skipped that part.
No, we can go back. We can go back, because I'm not finished with that, because you said you were doing well, but what happened with that as well?
But I just like, I met Mimi and was like, hey, you want to hang out? And we would just like hang out, watch anime, and smoke a little, and like hang out and take it easy.
Yeah.
Hang out with her cat. She unfortunately, Winnie did just pass away very recently. She had a very long life.
Yeah.
But that was when I first met her cat, Winnie. Yeah. And Winnie was very sweet and adoring. So it was nice.
Yeah. So you were finding like online friends and weeb friends at the time while struggling through calc, but you did pass. What ended up happening with that? What ended up happening with the university?
So I knew I didn't want to do engineering anymore.
Okay.
My game plan was originally to like I wanted to transfer to a like quote unquote better engineering college, but I hated the courses, and I hated the program, and I hated the way that I was treated as a woman in STEM, and like being talked over, or like being like over-explained things, even, or just not being listened to when I'm saying I understand that, but like you're not answering my question type stuff. And when I was in high school, I had joined the theater department. Was like, fuck it, let's see if they're like how the theater department is at my college, at my school. So I
Cool.
met up with an advisor,
Mm.
and she was a super sick woman who had like her husband like worked at like do you know of the Cranbrook School? It's like a really famous art school in Michigan.
I don't
A lot of
actually.
like early modernism came out of there.
Sick.
It's okay, but she had like a ton of like mid-century modern furniture. She showed us her apartment once. It was like she was so sick.
Yeah.
She had a bunch of sick like art in her
Dude.
office, and I was like, dude, fuck engineering. This is the real
You
shit.
saw the vision. You're like, this is where I could be. This is who I could be.
Literally. So I just hard pivoted, and she was a really great mentor. She honestly, I was still like crashing out like crazy. It's amazing that I somehow like passed my courses because and I thank her for it, because there's definitely projects where she's like, sure, I'm just gonna give you an A even though like you didn't. I'm just gonna give you the pass for the class because even though you didn't really do it, like I could tell you're like you care about this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. That's amazing.
rough,
so you hard pivoted it into drama under her. At that time, and then you end up getting through the course with that, or was that like a side thing?
Yeah, so that was I ended up just hard pivoting to being in the design program. So they had like a general bachelor's for theater, and then they had a bachelor of science for design.
Oh, cool.
Which was, you took a few extra like higher end classes by the time you got like in your final year. There was some like full scene design. Like there was a whole capstone where I studied under the costume shop manager. Basically, I was like an assistant manager in the costume shop.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Did a lot of stuff. Did a lot of like just like apprenticeship work with her and the costume shop manager, who is this really awesome guy too.
And with the costume stuff, is that how you got into cosplay? Is working with the costume stuff?
Yeah, so I also at the same time when I was in college, I was tired of having no friends, or my friends being really shallow.
Yeah.
Because like the few people that I met when I first started college, I like was just naive and stupid, and none of them really liked anime or games, and I was like, okay, well, like I can't really be myself around them.
Which is you're just here in my class and we kind of know each other, but I'm not vibing beyond that. Okay,
and it was like, that's like when everybody's like, oh, let's go drinking together, and like your whole like friendship is just like drinking together, and you're like, cool, absolutely, but like that can only get us so far. But I joined my school's anime club.
You did? Amazing. Yeah.
A bunch of them were already into cosplay, and I was like, well, I'm already like doing costuming stuff for school. Why don't I apply this to something I actually like really want to make, and like, have a whole cosplay for a character I like, and learn how to like, make a prop and trim a wig and like do my makeup really good so that it looks like so much more kawaii and anime than I would normally with normal makeup, right?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And so like with those people, you were able to like go to conventions and try all that. And that was did that persist outside of university for a little bit as well? Yeah. So just like people come and go in life, as I'm sure you've experienced as well. Yeah. So some of those friends from anime club, like we drifted apart. But I still loved going to conventions, and I met more friends through conventions and found more people who were into even like the more niche anime or niche games or just weird stuff. And like, that was kind of when I started getting into idols more too. I was gonna say that kind of segues into it, because like you're talking about the animes you're into at the start, which are like your classics, your Pokemon, your Totoros, your your Narutos, but like distinctively, I think you're very like passionate about the fact that you love more niche, kind of hidden, indie, crafted, artsy culture elements of like weeb culture. And is that when you started finding those kinds of things and that you loved them in university?
Yeah, for sure. Especially on Tumblr. And that was like the, I don't know, the era that I know like Penny and Stocking, the original, had just come out.
Yes.
So like that was really, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? It doesn't look like any other anime I've ever seen. And like anime was already kind of slowly becoming mainstream, and like you would see it at Hot Topic, like Sanrio was like finally really taking off here more than just for kids. Like you know, Gloomy Bear was really big. And then like characters like Super Sonico started taking off here in college, and like a ton of my friends were into like the Toho series. And because I had this platform, I had Tumblr, I was able to see and find so many other recommendations of anime because it was such a visual platform that like I would see like a specific cut or like a sequence from an anime, and I'd be like, what the fuck is this? And then I would try to find it and then source it, download it, watch it, and be like, this is the best shit I've ever seen. I need more of it. You know, and just following the rabbit hole at that point.
Just falling down the rabbit hole and getting into idol culture as well because of that. I wonder, because your situation is a little different because compared to some other VTubers I've got to talk to. Because compared to a lot of people I know, I mean, maybe Vivi's the exception because she got into like ASMR acting before she got into VTubing. You actually dabbled with the world of streaming before even discovering VTubers, right?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
When did you start exploring that? Like at what time?
Yeah, so for a couple of years after university, I was part of like a pseudo idol group. We didn't ever sing, but we would do like idol dance covers.
Wait, what? Wait! My brain didn't process that.
Did I ever tell you
Wait,
this?
No, you didn't. Wait, you were in like a pseudo idol group outside. No, okay, I need more information. Hello. So you started getting to roll this back. So yes.
I don't talk about it a ton. But I mean, like, especially because there's still videos out there.
Understandable.
But I was part of just like a bunch of friends that were really super into idol culture.
Amazing.
I was at the time. I got into it because of like Love Live, which most people did at the time. And dug deeper, got way more into it. I never really got as dedicated as some like people refer to as like otaku, like the people who have like the pen lights and they know all the chants and they know like all the call and response and everything. I just really like the music and the aesthetics of it and the personality. But there was a specific idol group called Dempa Gumi, and one of the girls would do live streaming, and I was like, dude, that's sick. And of course she live streamed in Japanese, so I had no clue what she was fucking saying anytime. But it was sick because she would just sit there and play games. And that was like when Twitch was first taking off. I think they had already been acquired, but it was Justin TV had already been acquired.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, I just want to try this. I was really into PC gaming at the time.
So you had actually got a PC before this as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I got a PC specifically to play Final Fantasy 14, which was I can't recommend anyone ever play. And anyone who does have an active sub will give you whatever cope they need to rationalize their time investment. I'm gonna get some targets on my back for this one.
The laser is at your forehead currently.
Like, I know, I feel it. It's been there. Well, I ended my sub years ago, and I will never go back.
Goddamn.
You've seen Dempa Gumi? Sorry, I was reading the chat. I'm so jealous. I never got a chance to see them, but
So you got your PC, you've been PC gaming, you're watching this person who was doing streaming because you're getting into idol stuff, and you were already, I guess, like challenging yourself with this idol group thing. Did you find you like a creative spark in doing that you hadn't found with your like university stuff?
Yeah, for sure. It's like, it was just, I had always loved kind of just being online in general. I would, even when I was on Tumblr, I just liked oversharing in a way. I love sharing facets of my daily life. I feel like that's the still to this day, the number one thing that I love the most about streaming and my own community, my own presence online, is really carving out my own, using it as a way of like, you know, virtual diary, documenting my things, like documenting my life, but at the same time sharing that daily life, because I feel like there, you know, there's so much going on outside of the internet and even online it was just a way for me to really express myself and dig deeper into myself without criticism from people that knew me in real life, right?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
But now, whenever I say something that's like cringeworthy, and a friend of mine or someone who knows me personally that doesn't know my VTubing stuff ends up in my stream, I'm like, I'm so sorry for what you're about to hear me say anytime you tune into this.
Yeah, this is a whole different side of the coin that you might not be prepared for.
Exactly.
Exactly. So with you saw her streaming, and you decided to try doing it yourself.
Yeah. And it was pretty rough at first. I mean, like, as with most people, I just asked friends to watch my stream or to hang out with me. And my stream was not the best. I would play like Final Fantasy and not really talk much. I got really into the mobile game Girls Frontline at the time, and that was kind of like a niche that I was kind of carving into, was finding other people who liked that mobile game specifically. I did a few cosplay live streams.
Hell yeah.
But like the big thing was I really disliked having to spend time to like make myself look good for the
Absolutely.
camera.
I mean, I wanted to, because do you want to ask some questions about your early like pre-VTubing and just like general streaming days, because I tend to ask these same questions about VTubing, but I guess in your case it goes even before that. Like, do you remember how you felt, like on that first stream going live? Did you put much thought behind it? Were you like, I'm just gonna try this, I'm just gonna be like, hey friends, I'm playing Final Fantasy, come say hi, or was there like that nerves? Like, how much pre-planning and thought did you put in at that time to your like setup, and how much preparation was there any for you at that time before you got into VTubing?
Yeah, so my very, very first stream, it was in like, honestly, I think it was almost 8 years ago, if I think about it. It was 2017? Yeah, and it was in the, like November. It was like around Thanksgiving. Because I was on break from school, and I was lonely and wanted to hang out with people online. So, and I think it was, I don't remember if it was like Cat Day or something. No, because Cat Day's in like February. Anyways, I put on a cat Kigurumi, and I was like, we're gonna play the all ages version of Nekopara. And like, like 2 people that knew me on like Twitter or something that also didn't really know me, they just followed me. So
that's incredible.
I just put on a webcam with I had my like Kigurumi with my hood up and was playing Nekopara, and I'm gonna be real, that game is not very good without the adult content.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to just take your word for that one, KK. I think I'm gonna have to. I'll take your word. I'll trust you on that one.
I'm sorry.
I
had a whole.
That's what you.
It's still in me, but I had a whole period of life where I just really liked Eroge. I'm sorry.
We appreciate you coming on the Unpacking podcast and being so vulnerable with the masses. We really appreciate that. I will say, my model is breaking, guys. I'm sorry about that. It seems I'm having tech problems, but we are going to continue this pod. Just the tomboy is frozen. Okay. I'm frozo. Okay.
I'll just keep moving. I'll be the Coco Melon. Don't worry.
You watch the KK in the corner. I'm now a voiceover Faymas. So yeah, you basically just went live, and did you, apart from just having the outfit, you were like, I'm just gonna try this. Do you remember what you felt after your first stream? Were you like, this is fun, or you're like, I'm not sure about that?
I was like, this is fun. I don't know. It was just fun to kind of be on a stage in a way from the comfort of my own bedroom, because at that point I had already done like I hadn't performed on a stage as like an idol type, like doing dance covers at that point. I eventually did over time, but I had been on stage already with being in the theater department, and I liked the limelight. What can I say? I liked having an audience. I like entertaining people. I like connecting to at least, if there's one person in the audience that can connect to me and I can make them smile or laugh or like at least just have them enjoy the time and enjoy spending a moment with me, that was worth it. And being able to experience that from the comfort of my bedroom was what was so, I feel like, originally intoxicating. about my first stream, right?
Yeah. Because it was doing all those other things you kind of had gotten a peek into. You'd be like, but it's right here. It's right here in front of me. And I have video games there too.
Yeah, and I was like, I have video games. I can do it from the comfort of my bedroom. Like, I don't have to have like a whole staff. I can just do it myself. Like, it was just like such a different medium at the time, right?
So I'm guessing because you were into idol culture and you were already streaming and you already had a fascination on the idols that were streaming and stuff, did you end up finding VTubers really early on? How early did you discover the world of VTubing after that?
So I would say I kind of discovered it originally probably in around 2017 because of a friend of mine who is now on Offkai's staff, which is really funny. And like he still to this day has been like a diehard VTuber fan and like is always talking about VTubers. Amazing. But he showed me at the time I really liked the VTuber Sana Natori. She's still indie to this day and was like still starting out at that point. She's like a really cute
that's like OG VTuber. Even like pre HoloLive discovery.
Yeah. I really like. Oh no.
Sorry, I'm
trying to fix. No, it's okay.
I'm trying to fix
do what you gotta do. I was just.
The system's dying. I'm just
distracted me. It's okay. I'm trying to not let it, but it's. I can only imagine how you feel.
So anyway, talking about pre HoloLive.
Yes. But a friend of mine showed me a bunch of other VTubers at the time. Kind of like I think EN definitely wasn't around at this point.
No. This is like I'm assuming pre 2020, like 2019.
Yeah, showed me. It was like Kiss in an Eye, of course.
Yeah.
And Kaguya Luna was like their favorite at the time, and showed me Pinky Pop Hepburn and like all these super OG back when it was truly virtual YouTubing.
Yeah. Right? Yes. Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like really cool. I wonder like how accessible it is. And I already knew that I liked streaming, but I had gotten kind of like, for lack of a better word, a lot of dysmorphia looking at myself for 4 hours in a camera. Yeah. Or like, even an hour stream, like I felt so disconnected with staring at myself on like as a camera. Yeah. And I started to notice all of the kind of quirks and things I do that I don't notice because I'm not staring in a mirror all the time.
Yes. Right? I mean, as a person who streams, I think a lot of people can relate to that. Even happens in the general sense of personality. I imagine that's times by so much when you're physically there. And at the time, I think you said you were doing cosplay, and I think you mentioned to me at that time that cosplay also was making you feel a little bit like you're lacking the joy of that because of that. It was also kind of competitive, very like in a, what's what I'm looking for, not objectifying, but in like a superficial way.
Yeah, so it had become a lot more commercialized.
That's
I would
the
say
word. That's
cosplay,
a great word. Commercialized.
Yeah, cosplay for a while was just like nerds making costumes for better or worse. Some people were really dedicated. Yeah, would make their costumes really detailed, but there wasn't really this kind of like Amazon, like you could thrift a costume for sure, like thrift pieces. Like for example, I know like PA-san had a very awesome, to this day, I feel like the best Heather cosplay I've ever seen. And I know, right?
Yeah,
that
literally
she,
thrifted it.
Built that. Yeah, literally thrifted it. So that was my favorite kind of cosplay, was thrifting stuff or like altering existing things or making things out of like, going to the Joann's fabric, finding a pattern that sort of kind of works, making up the rest because I
challenge,
have the skills.
Crafting it,
Exactly. It's like the artistry of it, right? It's not about the finished result. It's not about like, it's about the process from start to finish and like the rush kind of leading up to the convention with being like, fuck, it's this weekend and I have like a shift because I have like all these shifts at the beginning of the week because I took the week off because like the weekend before the convention, but my costume's not done yet. And like, that was what that was what I missed. And at this point, it had become a lot more commercialized. Like, you could buy costumes on Amazon. You could buy like tons of pre-made costumes, like and it was like every anime of the season really started to have its kind of own pre-made costume on platforms like Taobao, eBay, Amazon, stuff like that. So it became a lot more accessible, and it's like it probably sounds if I'm being hypocritical of myself, it probably sounds like I was being a hipster about it. Yes, I was, but at the same time, because it was so commercially available, more conventionally beautiful people, I would say, got into it because it's a lot more accessible. There isn't like the huge time and skill sink. It was just like, if you have the ability to make yourself look aesthetically pleasing and can fit into usually quite small costumes, because that's another thing, is a lot of the commercially available costumes, like, they're made in Southeast Asia, so I'm very tall. So a lot of them would never fit me, even if I wanted to buy one. But yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of body dysmorphia because it became very much more like a commercialized, like, it was less doing it for the love of the game, and it was more people who wanted to get attention from it, get followers from it, get money from it even, right? Because people were starting to sell prints of their cosplays, or like have, like, Patreon was starting out. And I just want to say, like, I am so supportive of all of the women, especially that do that line of work. But it was very hard, and to this day I still struggle with, like, a comparison complex. It was very difficult for me to separate my own values from what I was seeing online at that point.
So I guess, like, the spontaneous joy and the creativity was being challenged at that time for you. So you were, like, in this position of finding new stuff and also kind of looking for something new creatively to fulfill you.
Right. Yeah, and I was already dabbling into streaming. I'd already been really into gaming for a while.
Yeah.
And of course, I'd been gaming since I was a kid at this point. I had my first PC. I knew the kind of PC games that I did like, but at the same time, similar to how I was with anime was so much more accessible for me to, like, say, oh, what the frick is this? I want to check it out. Gaming, at the time, I really didn't have the true know-how on emulating, let alone, like, you know, playing older games or retro games, or you know, being able to relive games that I grew up with too. So, but I knew it was something that I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I've always wanted to play this game since I was a kid, but, like, how do I do it? And, you know, more and more guides came out online on how to emulate, and I was like, I want to be able to play more of these
games on
weirdo
the screen as well.
games,
These weirdo, and express stuff and enjoy that and explore that. In the regards of VTubing, so you see me for a little bit. Do you remember the first sparks? Like, there's one thing. It's one thing to watch VTubers and go, "Wow, they're cool. I like them. I'm enjoying this. I'm, as a consumer, as a viewer, as a chatter, as an enjoyer." And then there's the moment where your brain kind of clicks and goes, "Oh, I think I want to try this." Was that instantaneous for you, or was there a moment where you were enjoying VTubers that you're like, oh, "Wait, maybe I could do this. Like, should I try this?" Do you remember that?
I think I didn't know it was VTubing until after my friend showed me, but I knew that there was this program called FaceRig on Steam, and I had that on Steam, and there were a lot of workshop avatars that you could just try, and, like, it was real rudimentary rigging compared to what we have now. But I remember doing an Animal Crossing stream when New Horizons first came out, and I think that must have been, like, way before I actually, like, decided to kind of call it VTubing, I guess.
Wait, this 2019? Like, this is how far back are we talking when you decided to just, like, use a face rig avatar?
This was, I think, either, like, late 2017, early 2018, I think, at this point. I found someone made, like, a rig for a poppin' music avatar on Steam, and I was like, I love this character's art. I'm just gonna use this one while I play Animal Crossing, because I don't want to put makeup on and make myself look presentable, but I want to play games and, like, have people hang out. And at this point, I had also already made a Discord server because I really wanted to just watch movies and watch anime with people and share that. And streaming in Discord was now possible, so I would just be, like, blasting on my very early Discord server before I even started VTubing. That's the thing, is like, I don't know. It just kind of I fell
That's-
into it very naturally.
That's
in a
the
way.
thing.
Like,
Is it like
there
it was more
never
just
a point where I was like, I want to do this. It was
Yeah.
just like, I was like, oh, what's this? I want to try it. Like,
Yeah.
and then it became
more and more
VTubing,
of a
and I was
thing
like,
around you.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That is crazy to think, like, back in like 2018, 2019, you were messing around with face rig, because I think for a lot of VTubers who really got into it at the genesis of like early EN, a lot of people weren't as involved in, I guess, like idol Japanese culture and weren't as even aware of it as you were. So that's really cool to hear. So then from that, you exploring the Poppin, character. At what point though does KK Cyber evolve from that? I mean, I'm assuming this might have always been like an online identity, but then I'm like further into the actual like visual VTuber characterization of KK Cyber. At what point does that evolve? Is that later in 2020 when EM was more of a thing, or even before that?
Yeah, so there's the Poppin music character, and then I realized that there was other programs that wasn't face rig. There's one before VTube Studio was out called Puru Puru Live, like PRPR Live. And a friend of mine was like, hey, did you know that you can buy like really cheap avatars if you just want to try it out? Or I don't even know how I found it. I think it was in Booth was around, but there was also this platform called Nizima. And I bought like a basically $10 live 2D avatar. Her name was Calorie-chan. Like, it wasn't an original character. I just wanted to see if I could commit to the time streaming. So I knew that I liked
Were you working?
doing it.
And were you still at university? Were you working? Like, how did streaming fit into your schedule at that time?
I was doing odd jobs at that point.
Yeah.
After university, I was an office lady. And then I was just kind of doing other odd jobs, both like IT from home. I worked at like a boba shop at one point. I was just
Boba
like,
KK.
I was just doing whatever to make
KK
ends meet.
boba.
Yeah, man. We had the Pog juice. You could
Yo,
order the
and would you
Pog.
then stream like in the afternoons, on the weekends, like?
Yeah, I would stream evenings, especially because I had like I still have a delinquent sleep schedule. I would be up really, really late, so I would always stream in the evenings and then sleep in all day until I had work. So yeah, it was very spontaneous. I didn't really do like a schedule or do it really like full time. But that's why I got that cheap model. Was I wanted to figure out if I could do this full time, and I had the opportunity that because COVID hit at this point.
There you go.
I was like, well, I just want to try it out and see if this is something that I actually want to do and like have like a meaningful connection to invest more of myself into.
Yes.
More than just doing it on a whim and just being like, oh, I feel like doing this today. So I started streaming with that model, met a lot of people who were early in the community back then, and got a lot of was able to just somehow garner enough people to want to convince who enjoyed watching my streams, my early streams, that I had like a birthday donathon to raise enough money for an actual live 2D model.
That's so
and a friend of mine shilled Minsgraph, who's my artist, to me and was like, hey, he has like a design style that like you really like tall, lanky, flat-chested women, and there's not a lot of that on the internet. And he speaks English because he's Canadian. So
which is very rare at the time, early VTubing, finding artists who weren't Japanese artists. But you would be willing to commission willing to commission independent Western content creators.
Yeah, and admittedly, and he laughs at it now, admittedly, I did try to the email I sent to him, I tried to role play as a manager for KK
That's what you needed to do, because you're like, how the hell am I going to get this artist to trust me? People don't even know what VTubing is in the West.
And
so
then I was like, it's me all along, and I'm pretty sure he definitely knew it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we still, Minz and I are still working together, and we're, we've been able to play games together, we've met up together, we've gotten food together.
Amazing.
So it's not it was he was mad about it. He definitely probably knew, but I don't know. It was the fact that he was willing to take a chance on it, and especially because he has so many other VTuber kids now, that I was the first one that he made. So it was like kind of an experiment for him too. So I think the fact that he was able to experiment with no pressure of just being like, I don't know, this girl just wants a model, and if I mess up, whatever. Like,
and at that time, I think artists and even people who are working in the world of like live TV rigging didn't even know how to properly make them. It was still just people being like, where do you cut the lines? How do you split the layers? Yeah,
right. It was so experimental at the time, and there was like not really a lot of tutorials or like guides. Like, it was very insular at the time, right?
I am wondering though, with you talking earlier about like using this booth model and you know, going into it in 2020 and forming audience, you said you started with like friends and stuff. Do you remember a point where it shifted where you didn't just have like friends watching, but you actually were developing what could be considered a community? Do you remember, was that happening around, did that really happen around 2020, or do you have that forming already prior to that?
I think it happened especially around 2020 when it started happening when I was still using the Calorie-tron, the Nizima model. I don't know really how people stumbled into my stream. I just kind of played whatever at the time. I didn't really have like I would say like a direction when it came to what I streamed. It was just like streaming whatever at that point. But I was able to keep growing that, especially once I became KK Cyber. I feel like it's like I knew the kind of niche I wanted to go towards and was really confident in my overall art direction and overall.
That's what I wanted to ask, is with the art direction, with getting KK Cyber, with crafting the image, did you have a clear plan? How did you go about crafting the design, and like why did you go about it in the ways that you did? Break us down. Break down OG KK Cyber development for me, please. I would love to hear.
Yeah, so I think I like even broke down into this in like a debut slide a little bit.
Did you do a debut? Did you do a actual idol debut for your original KK model?
I wouldn't say an idol debut.
Well,
it was a debut. It is still on YouTube. I have yet to rewatch it in years, and I don't know if I'm ready for that psychic damage yet, because like, it's like I mean, of course I'm gonna be overly critical of myself, but it's out there, and like I think the worst part of the debut was, well, I was nervous as hell to begin with, but even outside of that, I did a karaoke segment because I knew I loved to sing. And my backtrack wasn't coming through for some reason, so I did the whole karaoke a cappella.
That's right.
And I was too nervous to look at the chat, and the chat's like, hey, it's like we don't, hey. But I went through the whole song anyways, and everyone's like, damn, she's like really committed to this. She's just rocking it out.
She's going for it.
She's into it. Like I feel like even when my skills aren't the best, the passion spoke volumes.
That's true soul right there.
That's exactly what I've always like. After I decided to become like, well, KK Cyber was a name that I was already going by online, but I didn't really have like a visual identity.
Exactly. I want to know about what the visual identity for me, because I feel like you as a creative type, that's quite special.
Yeah, I used to have like a little bit of like more idol-y name, which I won't share for my own privacy.
That's
but
fair.
like I had a very more cutesy name, but I felt like that really didn't do justice to my kind of bad girl, delinquent, like bratty, like fuck you self. Because I have a bit of an attitude, which I'm sure you know, and many of the seeders know.
Yeah.
So I felt really constrained by that. So I was really, I don't know, I wanted something that had like good alliteration, and I thought KK Cyber sounded sick. I was really into Lane at the time. I don't know,
I mean, it makes sense. Didn't you say your Animal Crossing New Horizons was one of the first games where you played with a model? It's poetic.
Exactly. And I was like, well, KK Slider sounds cool, and like I'm a fan of his work.
Yeah, big fan of the.
So people always, even to this day, people ask me like, oh, is it like related to KK Slider? And I'm like, no, I'm just a fan of his work. It's my way to, it's because it's true.
Yeah.
I like, that was always my favorite part of Animal Crossing growing
Yeah.
up, was like being like, it's Saturday, I get to go
It's the
see him.
time.
Like,
The show's my favorite show's on.
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And so, wait, yeah, so with forming your idea and like pitching the concept to your artist, did you do a draft sketch? Like, what did you bring to the artist to convey like what you wanted for KK?
Yeah, I had like a mood board. I don't know
Mm,
if I still have it. I was
mm,
really highly inspired by this Japanese fashion brand called
mm,
Cloma. I don't
mm.
know if you've seen them.
I
Here, I
think
can
I
send you
actually
their
might have.
website.
I
You
think I might
probably
have. Yeah.
have.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
very
It's like a
it's very much
Y2K.
your, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. And this was like, I had been obsessed with them for a while, but like it's really expensive, so I
mm.
never had it in me to like buy any of their clothes.
Yes. No, I do
But
know these guys are sick. So you sent through a bunch of this stuff.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like highly inspired by that fashion brand, as well as a lot of this artist that I still really like, Akiya Watanabe, who's like
Oh, yeah.
his like indie handle was Pull Your Own Rock, but he did a lot of
Mm-hmm.
kind of cutesy moe girls, but at the same time had some of the original characters he designed were very like kind of cybery, technical. Like he had this idol character that he even designed that
Save this for the chat to see.
let me see if I can find her. It was like a Deer's Stage.
Here you go, boys. Here's
Ooh,
some
well,
references for you to see while we look through the original concepting for KK Saga.
yeah. So let me see. Hold on.
Very cool.
There was, I'm trying to remember. I had to really dig to try to find what her name was. But he did a lot of, I have a bunch of art books by him that would be easier
Amazing.
to show. But he had a lot of like really kind of early 2000s kind of cutesy, but at the same time very mechanical designs. Like there was this one, he did a whole series of zodiacs where he did
cool.
like designed each zodiac as like a girl, and they had like kind of like a Mecha Musume vibe to
Yes.
them as well. Yeah, and I had already liked his work from a lot of the anime that I've seen that he did designs for. So I kind of was inspired by that as well. And it was just something that I was really passionate about because I felt like it was able to be, it had like a nice balance of being very cutesy, kind of idly, very like bubblegum sweet, but at the same time had that kind of like destructive juxtaposition, right?
That
with being kind of
felt
hard
like
and cold.
You could identify with. When you got your first model, do you remember what it was like seeing it and piloting it for the first time and like the preparation to lead up to actually debuting it? Do you remember all the feelings?
It's like, it was just, I was like, this is it. Like, this is her. And I was like, dude, I was like, she's gonna kill you. Like, I was so happy with it because it felt like she was so cute and bubbly and bouncy, but at the same time, like if you got on her bad side, like she would kill you and like also probably manipulate you.
Yes.
So it felt like it was such a good representation of me at the time.
And when you started debuting that model in 2020, did you find like there was a shift of your approach to streaming? Like, did you have like a perspective change, or there was like a part of you that was trying to maybe approach things differently, or was it always just, you just kind of kept in the flow, you kept in the pushing forwards in the natural, just evolving way?
I feel like I've always been kind of experimental with it. With my streams, like even to this day, I'm just like, I don't know, what if I did this? Like, maybe there's a way we can do this. Especially with like playing a lot of, and that's like one thing I still want to pick your brain about, of like doing CRT, because I have my PVM, I have my retro consoles, I just don't have a camera set up. Right? Yes, please. But yeah, I just always wanted to like, just thought like, is it possible to do this? Like, I think in my first year of VTubing, one of the earliest seeders was very kind enough to make me like a Vroid model. And I had access to a VR headset from my roommate at the time, and was like, what if I did like an idol dance concert? I wanted to figure out how to do this. And it was the middle of August, and I was in this hot ass house, and I was sweating my ass off.
Yeah.
But I did it anyways. I somehow, like, I was able to figure out getting full body tracking when there was like really not a lot of documentation on it. I was able to have some really rudimentary camera angles. This was before I've done like 2 technically 3D lives. There was that were both from my bedroom. The second one I actually sang along with, but the first one I was like, I practiced idol dances again for the first time in years.
Yeah.
And really, really wanted to have that as my birthday, because it was like, that was when Hololive was really taking off. That like they were doing idol lives a lot more, and
so
full body tracking was still like really new and was just mostly like relegated to VR chat people.
Yes.
So
VR and idol, like full studio spaces.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I don't know. I've just always been like, I want to try it. Or like even with ASMR, like I found a significant amount of success with ASMR, and I still don't know like how it just came about naturally. You just
kind of explored it. Were you a person who was into ASMR originally, and that's why you tried it?
So I've always struggled with anxiety and had insomnia a lot, and ASMR was, I would listen to like meditations. I would sometimes listen to ASMR. But so I wasn't like super into it, but I really enjoyed the kind of calming effects that it provided. And I definitely got more into it after I started streaming ASMR, because it was like kind of a way for me to study other people and find what actually helps me. Like I know it's good ASMR if I can turn off my analytical brain and actually relax. And I'm like, damn, okay, they got me good.
They're doing it well.
Right, exactly. Because usually if I listen to ASMR, I'm analyzing. I'm like, oh, how did they make that sound? Oh, how did they do this? Like, oh, I wonder like what the placement for the microphones are, or like, you know, stuff like that, right?
That totally segues into the question I was just like burning in the back of my head, is like, with you having analytical brain, like being like, how do they do that? I want to work it out. How can I do that? Like, when you've started streaming, have you found like watching other streamers that have like inspired you and being like, oh, I like what they're doing, I want to, like, what do you notice and what do you find the most admirable in other streamers that you want to emulate, like that you're inspired by? Is it like the Holo Idol? Like, what was like kind of getting your brain flowing?
I think it's just like seeing people who are passionate about stuff is like just.
Do you remember like distinctive streamers when you first started off where you're like, oh, that's like, I wanna emulate that?
I mean, I feel like it was like ways, maybe I'm trying to think, like, so I would find ways that people that I thought were really into niche stuff, like for example, I mean, Picky, of course, was like one of my closest friends when I was first starting off. And it was like, she was getting really into, and she had always been really into sharing just weird retro games. And one of my first few streams, I played Rez for the Dreamcast. I emulated, or maybe I played the PC port, I don't remember. It's been 5 years at this point. But I was like, oh, sick, like you can just play more retro games that like speak to you on an aesthetic field, or just something that you want to pursue or like get into. So being able to kind of see that she found success focusing on finding niche things and really getting on her hands and knees and digging around and finding stuff that was really fascinating to her kind of inspired me to find more niche, weird, either old games or retro games or indie games that I wanted to share, or share these things that I had always really liked, but it was like, oh, no one's gonna care about this because no one knows what it is. So like, why should I stream this? Like, so yeah, I don't know. That was a bit of emulation, I would say.
Just
beyond that, something else that I feel like I especially wanted to emulate, but it's like in a way it's not even emulation, because my favorite Holo EN member was always Amelia. And especially this is like I think it's because she's very stubborn, and I am also very stubborn. So like the fact that she had Amewe made me be like, okay, there are people out there who know that they want what they want, and don't want other people to tell them what to do. And because that's how I was, and I was so used to watching so many other VTubers, especially in the early world, where they just have people backseat them the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like tell them everything to do in a game, and it pissed me off because I'm like, it doesn't give me any satisfaction if someone just tells me what to do. And I'm just saying to anyone out there who has people that just help them play games, power to you. I'm way too thick of a skull, way too stubborn to let someone tell me what to do in a game. Seeing her kind of just like smash her own head at a wall when it came to games and things that she did, and she was always also very experimental with her own streams, and also was like one of the few, I feel like, early on Hollow members that was really trying to push more with 3D and VR. So that was something that I was always trying to adapt to myself, like in an indie sense, of course, without any kind of staff.
Well, that's what I was gonna also ask, being like in the indie sense, because I know that like you have a love for idol culture, but you are an indie, and you've been an indie for like most of your career. I mean, if you're comfortable, you want to talk about like your feelings on indie versus corporate, like what things do you personally like about the indie world, if you'd ever consider exploring that versus what do you like about the corporate world and the idol world, and if that's something you would be, if you're like excited about as well. Like what do you find is
I feel like I can only truly speak from experience, and my experience is 100% indie. Though there was a period of time, the corpo has since dissolved, but I had a friend who is running-ish a company, like she was part of a company. She did scout me, but I don't know what happened. It fell apart and the company dissolved. So clearly it wasn't the right play.
The small indie world in VTubing.
Right.
Small corpo world,
like they wanted to acquire KK Cyber, and I was like, well, you can't have her. I'm like, no. That's mine. I'm like,
you say you are protective about your craft, and you think so?
I think so for sure. I don't know. I have, at least like as KK Cyber, like I have a very strong vision and a very strong opinion of like who she is, because at the same time it's like KK Cyber is less like, so I've told you that there is RTX Chan, right? That is the she is to me what PA San is for you, right? She, like, KK Cyber is still like they're two sides of the same coin in a way, right? Like I like to treat them as two separate people, but at the same time, like, this is still me. So having anyone else tell me what KK Cyber should be like just felt weird. It just felt uncomfortable. It felt like, I'm like, who are you? Like, you don't live in my head. How can you decide what's good for me? You don't, like, you aren't me, right?
Have you found you've evolved more into having that protection, that like a link with KK over streaming as well? Have you, because as you've like formed your confidence with it?
Absolutely. I feel like because at the same time it's like it's a passion project, right? It's become a labor of love. Like I think there's nothing wrong with rebranding. Nothing wrong with like kind of pivoting or like, you know, redoing a whole personality. Even as an indie, but like for me, I feel like it shows true dedication to wanting to evolve the design aesthetic with my own personality, right? To never let myself feel constrained to who KK was, let alone like let KK keep evolving as like a, for better lack of a better word, like as an IP, as an intellectual property. And like another thing is, because a lot of my branding has been on like torrenting and seeding, I've always had this kind of like mentality that KK is an open source IP. She's for the people, that I'm like, why would I ever have her be like something that is owned by a company and not have it be like a like a collective, right? I feel like
KK is even when a free entity in the wired. She's a free entity.
Exactly. Like, she can't be caged, you know? Like, you can't put a ball and chain or a leash on her, right? But even when it comes to indie stuff, so like when it comes to streaming, I feel like, from my understanding, granted, I don't really have a lot of experience from the inside, and a lot of corpo stuff is still very hush hush, he said, she said. And I prefer to not butt my nose into that because it's not my.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not my business,
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but from my understanding, a lot of what I do might not be possible because I do emulate a lot of games. I have hardware that I have homebrewed and hacked. So a lot of my retro content, I feel like would really have to take a sideline because
there's a certain
unless
things that are only possible for you as being an indie with that full freedom to explore.
Exactly. And I know the rules sometimes change depending on if the company is American or Canadian or European or Japanese. Like I know Japan is especially very strict with copyright laws. And I've heard if you work for an American company, you know, you can get away with more stuff, but it's like, I don't know. I just rather not have to worry about like getting into trouble for doing what I want to do, you know?
Well, I mean, talking about like what you do in your setup and, you know, with it being a little bit like, you know, the hardware and stuff you've set up and everything, I'd actually love to get some like insight into like the streaming setup you kind of currently have up. Do you have a streaming routine? Are you're a schedule person nowadays? Have you always been a person with a schedule? Do you like having a schedule? Like, does it work for you? Why not? Like, tell me more about the KK planning.
If I don't have a schedule, I don't do anything. That's the hard truth is that if I don't have a schedule, I just won't stream. The schedule above all else is to hold me accountable.
I can relate.
So, and also just like I have my own little planner. I like to write things down. I like kind of having a game plan. It's probably part autism of just liking knowing what to expect.
Game plan wise, like, do you have a game plan for streams? Like write down notes about what to kind of do in the stream?
Yeah, so with my life kind of getting turned upside down the last couple months, it has been a little touch and go. But before that, on a good month, I would have like an idea of what I had wanted to do a month in advance.
Really?
With like saying, okay, I would have the basic streams that I would want to do, like doing ASMR once a week, you know, whatever game I'm playing at least once a week. And then I would plan events throughout the month too. I would say, okay, well, like this week is, you know, this specific day. So what if we did like a VR event where we celebrate that holiday? Or, you know, this week is I've been really into like racing and driving, but I don't really have it in me to like try to get into like to get better time. So what if we did like I did like a stream a few months ago, or I guess it's been a year ago now, where I did it was like a POV. I was driving you around, like you were in the passenger seat in Assetto Corsa. And it was just like, I was like, we're going on a road trip together. Like, it was me just having kind of like, I have like a notebook of ideas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you find that, like, do you write down your ideas into a notebook? Where do you find they come to you? Is it on stream? Is it like on the toilet? Like, just whenever?
I feel like it's a lot of shower. It's a lot of out and about, like eating food, just sitting around. Definitely like bathroom thoughts for sure, but sometimes I get ideas on stream, I would say, but usually I'm so enraptured in the moment of being on stream and engaging that it's hard for me to like think about what I want to do next while I'm already doing stuff, if that makes any sense. Like when I'm on stream, I try to give like 110% of my attention and like dedicated self to the stream itself in the moment, because I feel like that's the advantage to live content, is sharing a moment together, right? And if I'm not present in that moment, if I'm thinking about the next moment or thinking about the future, I feel like I'm not giving 100% of myself to the stream at that point.
So in the moment, you're just doing the stream, but off stream, when you're planning and organizing stuff, do you find yourself, like, do you find having those little projects and ideas like important for like creative motivation for you? Like constantly being like,
It's also like a caveat though, because I am just, so like this kind of plays into like the corpo indie talk we were having earlier,
yeah.
like I am just one person. I don't have like a manager. I don't have an admin. The only one answering emails is KK. The only one doing hand cams is KK. It's like we got RTX, but like I said, it's just two different hats for the same guy. So like
me, myself, and I working at this company.
Right. I mean, I do joke that Taro is the CEO. That's
hell
my cat,
yeah.
but, like,
I trust Taro with the account.
He's sitting on his ass. He's not doing anything. He's the typical CEO. That's why
books in months.
He does better work when he's not in the office. That's all I'm saying. It's like he's that's why he's the CEO, because like anyone who's worked in a company knows that if the CEO is around, you don't get as much work done because they're just stirring the pot. So that's right.
Well, we're getting in that mental state though of like, giving yourself everything to stream. Do you have like a little pre-stream routine, or you like hit go live? Like, when you hit that go live button, do you have to have like, okay, I got my water, I've got to have this, got to have X, Y, and Z? What's the desk setup like?
Yeah, I have to have my water. Hydrate or dehydrate for sure. I mean, when I try to get my morning routine locked in, but like I said, stuff's been a little crazy for me the past couple months. But usually I'll like wake up, brush my teeth, I put my retainer in the cleaning solution, like shower if I need. I usually do night showers though, I guess. But I have like a little Yakult, like a little yogurt drink, get my probiotics, have a cup of coffee. Like I have a routine, but it is very like loose, I would say. Open the windows if the weather's nice, throw open the blinds, get some sun in here. I gotta have my water. Sometimes I oversleep a little bit, so I try to at least make sure I eat before I go on stream. Because
so you are a morning streamer in that case. Do you like that?
Yeah. So I technically stream by like 1 p.m. my time. So I don't really know if I consider that morning, but it is like streaming after I wake up.
Yeah.
But I prefer it that way. I prefer having I mean, with the exception of ASMR I only do at night because it's not really practical to do any other time.
Is there a different setup for you for ASMR than normal streams? Like, is there a different mental preparation as well as like actual physical?
I would say so. So normal streams, I feel like I definitely like to do earlier in the day so that it's not weighing in the back of my head. It's not like, oh, I have to like make sure I have enough energy for this. Whereas it's kind of the opposite when it comes to ASMR. ASMR, leading up to ASMR, I usually use it as an excuse to like just kind of zone out, relax, chill, like watch something, take it easy. A lot of times I'll go on walks. I'll go like outside and go reading. I'll like go to a little cafe and just kind of use it as like some self-care time for myself. So that way when I come to the ASMR stream, I can really like be in that kind of calm mindset. And there's definitely been times where the anxiety, the mental illness gets to me, and I have to cancel the ASMR and be like, I'm not in the mindset. I'm not the type of person that when it comes to ASMR, I can't really force myself to just toughen out. I can when it comes to normal streams if I'm like,
have you learned setting healthy boundaries for yourself like that more over time, or have you always been like, no, I know I can't stream if I'm not mentally here?
I've definitely learned it over time.
Okay, yeah.
I would say I don't know. I have a tendency to kind of set walls whenever I feel kind of like stuck in my head or stuck kind of in a mindset. I've never been, maybe I did like years ago, but I've never really been the type to kind of share the mental or like the mindset that I'm in when I'm feeling that way. But I've gotten a little bit better about it in the sense of like sharing it with like the seaters, like, behind like a sub chat saying, not like fully like full on dumping whatever I'm feeling. But like saying, hey, I feel really feel this way, like, this is going on, and like I feel really upset, and the rational part of me understands that, like, I can see myself from an outside perspective, and I can acknowledge that, like, I know this isn't the most rational, but at the same time the feelings are very genuine, so I'm just, thanks for understanding. And like the beautiful thing is that my community is like highly supportive of that, and it's just like, we just want you to be happy, boss. And I'm like, thanks, me
Hell
too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So
So when going into that, you're like, you have to be in the right states for ASMR to be able to really know you're giving the best to the people, like the community.
Exactly. Because it is like if you don't listen to a lot of ASMR, you don't stream ASMR, it's hard to kind of like understand in a way, but it's a very vulnerable type of stream, I would say. At least for me personally, I don't do really like lewd ASMR. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like it's outside of my own comfort zone. So that's
do you do
I
scripted
like
ASMR or is it conversational?
All of mine has always been improv. So even the kind of like more directed ASMR, I'll have like an outline. I'll be like, okay, we're going to have like this story beat in a way, right? Like I'll have beats of being like, okay, we're going to go this direction. I'll do this specific sound and trigger. And then later we'll like go into this kind of mentality and we'll do this. But I've never done like a full script. Because I like to be able to have the freedom to really invest myself into it live as like a live performance.
And let it kind of flow and not feel forced, I guess.
Yeah. So, and be able to like, if like a specific thing is like if a specific moment, say like I did like a maintenance ASMR, if like something isn't working the way I want it to, like I can cut it short. Or if there's one part where like the chat is like, oh, this is a really nice sound, I can drag it out longer without having to be like, oh, if I don't have the time here, then I'm gonna miss this next part, right?
That's
I don't know if that's making any sense.
No, that's
actually I'm just rambling.
No, this makes a lot of sense. It's very interesting to me as well as a person who's not innate to ASMR, so I've not really consumed a lot of it, to hear the different kind of avenues. Because talking to Vivi in the pod earlier, she's very much scripted ASMR, so this is a different approach to it. So it's cool to hear. When it comes to your like ASMR setup, do you have like a little kit? Do you have what's your desk setup like normally for your daily streams, and then how's your setup like for ASMR?
Yeah, so really all that changes is my mics and like the kind of placement. So I mean, if we want to be really nerdy about it,
what's the KK setup like? 4 monitors, 3 PCs?
Thanks to the Cedars supporting me this year, I use a Rode Procaster, which is like, so Go XLR no longer is around. A lot of people still have Go XLR, but Rode, my goat. Thank you, Australia. Thank you, Rode.
I've been thinking again. The caster, is it good? I've been thinking because I have the Rode mic.
I have a Rode mic also. Oh my god, you want to know like the stupidest thing? I got so. You appreciate design aesthetics. I was so mad because the mic I have came out in white after I already owned it, and I was like, oh my god, it would look so good if I had it in white. But anyways, that was a complete tangent, but. It's like, it drives me insane when companies will like release a really good piece of hardware and then they do a different colorway after the fact. Drives me crazy.
Oh, it's like when Steam Deck did the clear version of the Steam Deck, and I'm like, you sons of, because I have one. I don't need another one.
Right.
But this one's so much better.
They had this, even Steam Deck had like a limited edition, like clear white one. And I
was
like, what? It looks so good. And it came out like months after the one that I already
got. Since my test daily, I wanted to look good. It was purple.
Right.
Yeah, so you have the Rode mic. How many monitors?
Yeah, so I have the Rode mic that I use normally. I only use 2 monitors. But my desk is pretty big, but I prefer having space for hand cam stuff and having space for like things. I have a lot of little trinkets on my desk because it makes me happy to see cute things on my desk. And helps me feel inspired, especially when I'm streaming. Just gives me stuff to look at. Also, if I'm like talking about things really stuck in my head. But when it comes to ASMR, so I still use the same Rodecaster. It has 4 XLR inputs. So right now I'm only using 1, obviously. When I do retro games, I use 2 of the inputs to get audio from the hardware itself.
Nice.
I mean, granted, so the routing is a little weird. So I have direct output for myself, but for the stream, it's all through Elgato. But that way I can have like no latency for the audio from the hardware, and I don't have to deal with it from the Elgato. But then when I do ASMR, I have a 3DO, which is like a headphone that's like the mic that has that like looks like it has ears.
The
And
funny
then I
ear
have
mic, yeah.
yeah, and then I have a matched pair of NT5s, which most people use for acoustic recording, like if you play acoustic guitar,
Mm.
or a lot of drummers use them. But I use them for ASMR because if you match them and you have them together, it can create a really good stereo effect. And I feel like it helps the sound a bit more balanced. Because when it comes to the ear mic, like if you visualize it, the audio comes only from the right and the left. There's a really big dead zone in front.
Oh, yeah.
So by having two other mics that are pointed to the front, then it feels like it's a little bit more of a like realistic soundstage because you don't have a dead zone in the front.
Do you find that like the technological aspect of streaming and even of VTubing was one of the things that inspired you? Just asking about based on your enjoyment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, like it's so funny because it all like circles back that I originally wanted to go to school for audio engineering.
Right.
So like this kind of stuff is still fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like that part of myself never truly died. I just found different ways to invest myself into it. Like that's the thing is I feel like it's always been the same me. I've evolved. My personality has evolved in ways. My interests have evolved. But at the same time, I feel like I've never truly discarded facets of my interests or like parts of myself. I've just found new ways to express them or apply them.
Exactly. I mean, like, okay, we're kind of segueing a little bit back as well with you talking about mental and being the right mental space. In streaming now for so many years and doing VTubing now for so many years, in conjunction with a lot of life and work stuff and evolving through that, has there ever actually been a point in VTubing where you've experienced some degree of severe self-questioning or burnout? And do you kind of like, what's the mental that you've worked through and evolved through to kind of challenge burnout when it comes to streaming or questioning doing this or questioning being a streamer? Has it always been like the focus for you? Because when did you become full-time? And
I've been full-time since I debuted in 2020.
Yeah, so you've been full-time.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That at that point. So enduring all that and it being a full thing, through that, have you experienced some degree of like self-questioning and burnout? And
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone who's been in it even for more than a year, like they'd be lying if they said that they haven't, and like that they've been doing it consistently.
Yeah.
Because even for me, it took my mother passing away for me to finally take a hiatus.
Yes.
Because I would take occasional like I'm sick this week, or like, oh, my family's in town, like so I'm not streaming. But like to actually be like, I am just like not gonna attach myself to like not feel like I need to be on. That was really like the first time I took that kind of break. But I'd had like weeks where I was like, I really just need some space away. So a lot of it is just, I feel like for me to combat burnout is about finding moments each day to not connect in a way, you know, like to have that kind of work-life balance, to still I treat streaming, yes, it's a hobby in a way. Yes, it's like a passion project, but at the same time, it is a job. It is work to me.
Yeah.
And I've always seen it as work.
Do you think that's
work
valuable?
that I love to do.
Yeah.
I think it's valuable in the way of like, I've seen it as something that like I try to bring like a level. I know that was something that you and I talked about when we hung out in person. Was like kind of both of us really connected to the fact that we've always treated this like with a professional aspect. Like we've always wanted to bring a sense of professionalism to whatever we do, like while still being sincere, while still bringing the most like authentic version of ourselves to it, but at the same time, like, you know, keeping it professional, keeping it serious, and taking it very seriously in a way, like still goofing off, still being hams, still being goobers, but
having, I guess, like a boundary there of like, this is where I can reflect back on to take space, because it's still you need to be the best you can be for creating a certain degree of quality. Is there a problem of self-pressure with that for you? Putting too much pressure on yourself?
Definitely. I feel like, especially since I don't really have like a manager or staff or anything, And I still have so many projects that I have yet to complete that are all like in progress, not even just ideas, just in progress. And like, I'm just sitting on things that the only one who needs to do work is me at this point. And it's like, you know, the 3 a.m. thoughts of being like, oh, I have all these things that I need to do tomorrow, but also like I have doctor's appointments, and also I have to take my cats to the vet, and also I like have a dentist appointment, and also like, oh, my period's starting this week. Oh, like, right. It's having to try to find the balance of being a human while also being like a VTuber, right? But that's why I just try to find time when I can go on walks and like have hobbies and facets of my daily life that are just for me, or just for like my real life, just for RTX in a way. Like, I have very, very kind friends that I get to hang out with in person. You know, living with Shimada also, like, it's sometimes hard for me to detach because like even if I'm not online, she'll be online. So it's like
it is like one of those things where it bridges from just being like a solo experience to like, even I can relate with having my close peers also being VTubers living nearby. It becomes homogenous.
Right, exactly. And like but at the same time, like finding things that I don't want to quote unquote make content out of, like even to this day, I it probably sounds pretentious, but I've never really seen myself as a content creator. I've always seen this as like a level of performance art.
Okay. And, that's kind of, I was gonna say, even if you feel like you've become your character over time, or where do you still find you put that separation from your personal identity? Is that in the character performance element for you?
Yeah, I would say so. Just being able to be unabashedly myself, whereas I feel like in a daily life, right? Like maybe I wouldn't say as rude of a thing or as bratty of a thing because it might cause some tension with like real life people, right? Like I still want to overall keep the peace, especially in my apartment. Like I know people all the time are like joke that me and Shimada are getting a divorce or something, or like, I don't know, we bicker like an old couple online, but at the same time, like we're still friends, and it's like we live together. We're gonna keep living together because like there's always gonna be like difficulties as with living with people is, but at the same time, it's like that has never been something that like either of us have been like, oh yeah, we want to bring this up on stream or anything. Like
you need to keep that.
Know.
You know that there's like that's that world, and then streaming still is that performance. It's like and that's healthy for you. You find
right? Yeah, because like I mean, like even like. I don't know if Shimada talked at all about it last week, but like, you know, there's the Shimada online, and then there is the Shimada in person. There is a lot of similarities, but at the same time, like similar to kind of us, it's like there is like a separate person that is offline that the internet unfortunately will never see. But I think that's important for any kind of artist or any kind of content creator, is to have like a part of yourself. It's just not possible to share every single facet of your life online to begin with. But even outside of that, I think there's like a balance to not being performative with everything you do, right? Like not having things that are just for yourself, having rituals that are just for yourself, just for your daily life, so that you can really just relax, take it easy, right?
And so that's kind of, I guess, learning where to take care of yourself when there are things blurring in a way for you between like your mental with and without, inside and outside streaming.
Yeah. And so, I feel like that's like the biggest tricky part with being kind of of being my authentic self is that KK Cyber is a characterized version of myself, but it is still myself. It's not a full character. So there are times where it's like, it is difficult to turn that off, or to disconnect, or to not, I don't know, to separate myself in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Have you found though, through like, I guess like having the KK Cyber of yourself, that like, because you had been streaming for so long, have you evolved, and like has it made you more confident in certain areas for yourself, or can you say it has actually? Or can you say that no, I'm the same as always, I've just been KK? No, but you have? Where? Tell me more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely like the fact that I'm willing to be more artistic. I'm willing to like go headfirst into a lot of hobbies, but even outside of that, I really, really, really struggled with agoraphobia for at least like a full year. I didn't even leave my apartment once. Yeah. Okay. But by being more, that was another like kind of goal, was to be unabashed of myself, but at the same time to find the most confident version and express that most confident self online while still having vulnerabilities, right? But be confident in those vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Being like, like this is my raw self, like ripping it open, showing it to the world. But that's
allowed you to do that. Like having this vessel has allowed you the position to explore that, I guess, right?
Yeah, and especially to explore it in real life too, to feel more confident as myself. Both like I used to dress very plain and average, I guess. Like so even now, like I'm
your style's so cute. That blue dress.
Fashion. Thank you. I like to be able to just be like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna wear whatever, and it's like I'm gonna try to do my hair like this, and I want to, I don't know, read a new book, so I'm gonna go find a new book, or I want to go sit at a cafe, and I don't care if like someone else is annoyed with me being at this cafe. I'm just gonna be at the cafe because whatever everyone else thinks about me doesn't matter. Like being able to kind of like, I used to be so obsessed with wanting to minimize my existence that I feel like being KK allowed me to take up space, especially online, and to carve out that space.
I was gonna say.
So now that I have that avenue online, I was able to be like, okay, well, so why do I think I'm not allowed to take up space in the real world?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take up space. La 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 la. Like
having an audience of people that are responding positively to you being authentic makes, I guess, is forces to you like, oh, I can do that outside of the internet.
Exactly.
In choosing to do that and like go all out and just be like, I'm gonna express myself online. What can you say is like do you have a kind of ethos or energy you're always trying to put out there with your streams? Like what's the KK message that you try to apply to every time you go live, and like that you want to give your audience?
To sum it up, it would be really difficult, but I feel like it's just to be present, to find connections, to just
connections make sense.
Carpe diem, seize the day.
I
right?
saw you recently watched Dead Poet Society. It got your ass. It's one of my favorites.
So hard.
It's
oh my God,
one of my favorites of all time.
You should also watch this. Have you seen Harold and Maude?
No.
That was like a 70s movie that had a very similar message, but at the same time had a lot more like dark undertones and still like kind of spoke on the topic of like suicide. You should check that out. Also because it is totally aesthetically a vibe, and I think that the old woman in it, Maude, is like who you want to be when you grow up.
You know me. Yeah, you're probably
she's
right.
She's a little art freak. Yeah. Like she's like you would love that film. We watched it. It was totally like a sleeper hit for me.
Oh, amazing.
And it's also, it was from the 70s, and like the whole movie just has like a Cat Stevens OST basically also. So
sorry, yes.
Incredible. Yeah. So I found it on a whim and watched it with my server, and you gotta watch
I'm gonna need you to send me a link to that, because I know that Dead Poets it's a big one for me. So that was a Carpe Diem, man. Yeah. So that's what it is. It's the connection for you. I feel like being like cyber person, a person who always loved online world, I guess that makes sense that's important for you when it comes to the ethos of KK Cyber.
Yeah, just like being your authentic self, and to not like to, as someone who really felt the need to mask and also like minimize my existence and minimize myself, and I feel like so much of the outside world really wants you to become just like part of a status quo, right? Of kind of like minimizing yourself, letting other things control you, letting the world kind of just mow you over, and just being a cog in the machine. I feel like
Mm.
I've always felt out of place growing up, that being
Yeah.
able to kind of find a place that if I felt out of place, I was able to create my own place.
Yeah.
Right. And my message was always to like, you know, try to create your own place. And if you don't have a place, then at least you can hang out here. Like,
Yeah.
because that's like, I mean, that kind of plays into the kind of net cafe vibe that I'm going towards, like as my
Yes.
evolution of like,
Yes. Please.
so granted, like my server's still called Siberia, but we're in a pardon the dust. We are renovating
Yeah.
to have 404 Cafe and Club, which is like the name of my website of being, it's like kind of like my ideal net cafe experience of having a place where you can come, you can have coffee, you can play some games, read some manga, take it easy, like, you know, look at some art, work on some art, talk to people, have interesting conversations, but at the same time have it be like, you know, a place that is always moving and always changing and never going to be the same no matter when you visit, right?
I think that's a wonderful proposition in this time period of what you're trying to craft, if I'm getting this right. It's almost like a digital third space.
Yeah,
a kind of cafe
exactly.
environment to exist in online, like you would if you went out in public and sat at a cafe. But in the internet, where a lot of those kinds of environments are being corporatized, you know, with social media, is what do you find about third spaces like that are so important for you? Is it the like incidental community? Is it the creating an environment? I guess that relates to ASMR, right? It's something comfortable.
Yeah, it's about the comfort, because even I like I still tend to, when it comes to hanging out with people in real life, tend to usually still be a bit of a homebody, of prefer people to come to my place or we hang out at their house. Like we don't really go out a ton of places. And that was something that I was so envious of going to Australia. It was that cafe culture feels so different there.
Yes.
And we talked about this. We like had a whole conversation about how Australia was like, yeah, like this is just a place where we chill and we drink coffee and we hang out. And
we
like
chat. You have a lunch.
Culture in America is just people always working. There's always people on laptops. There's always people, like everyone has their headphones on, and like there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But for me, it kind of feels like I can't detach myself from all the work that I have to do, right? Like it's it is nice to get out and like have that place, but I feel like it's the drive to want to have a place where you can just relax and find people with similar interests. And like, even if you don't talk with other people, I feel like there's even a value with, I mean, similar to how I still to this day don't really chat a lot in a lot of streams, but it's like sometimes you just want to be around people, because at the end of the day, humans are social creatures. Like we are the way we are because we crave social interaction. And as stoic and independent and stubborn as I like to think I am, I still crave having people to spend time with. And sometimes I don't know what to say, but just there's something about just being able to enjoy time together, even if we're not watching the same thing, even if we're not doing the same thing, if we're just in sharing a space with other people, especially people that are passionate and compassionate and have similar interests, or even just have an interest in what you do, or an interest in art, or interest in anything, is just something that I feel like is energizing in its own way. And that's the kind of ethos that I've always tried to apply to my own stream, of having a space where you can just like enjoy company. You can just enjoy like a community, be part of a collective in a way, but at the same time still have a strong sense of individuality.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think that is a really special motivation to have for streaming and for like what you're trying to kind of cultivate. I was wondering, when it comes to like streaming and VTubing and stuff, what's like kind of, I guess, maybe like the harshest lesson that you have learned about growing a space or growing as a streamer, as a VTuber, if you have one at all? Like, was there a point where you had to be like, you had to realize what your motivation was, and you know, as a streamer, as a VTuber?
I think maybe one of the hardest lessons to learn is that if you are insistent on having your level of like individuality and you're insistent on carving your own niche, you will inevitably step on people's toes. And even outside of that, then at that aspect, you're not going to make everybody happy. That by being yourself and not kind of homogenizing your own personality and homogenizing facets of your online presence, I feel like it is next to impossible to make everybody happy and be like a artist, a person that is gonna attract anyone and everyone, right? And I think that was like a really hard to swallow pill for me, of just growing up and having my own challenges of just like, why does XYZ not like me? What is unlikable about me? And just being like, well, it's like it's just a fact of life that not everyone is gonna like you, right? So I guess kind of dealing with that aspect, but even outside of that, I guess like I already forgot what the question was.
No, I genuinely, I think that was kind of like an amazing answer. That is a lesson.
Say, but it's totally out of my mind.
That is like a genuine, legitimately important lesson to learn as like a VTuber, as a content creator, that you do have to learn. Not everybody's gonna like you, and you have to get used to that, and be comfortable with still doing being confident in what you want to do, despite pushback.
Yeah, and it's definitely, and you're gonna feel way more friction if you force yourself to try to make everybody else happy, because at the end of the day you got to make yourself happy, and it's like it is a lifelong task in my experience. And it will be a lifelong task, but it's definitely, I mean, like at this point, I just kind of joke about it, that like the parts of myself that are rough around the edges, I'm like, all right, there's the door. It's just gonna hard filter you out.
Yeah,
like, the real ones will stick around.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
You know, it's either for you or it's not for you. Go on, like, that's
right,
completely fair.
Exactly.
I mean, being either for you or not for you, this kind of segues into a question I've asked everyone I love getting the insight on, it being either your thing or not your thing. Do you think VTubing as a concept, as a entity, I mean, like, obviously even recently online there's been some conversations about what is VTubing and mainstreamification of VTubing. Do you think it will always be a niche? Is there a way you could see it being like breaking into the mainstream? Is it always going to be some people won't get it? Do you?
I think it's hard to really, I guess I prefer to focus on the here and now and like be in the present than to think about like, when is the bubble gonna pop? Is this a dead end? Is this like, am I wasting my time? Are these whole 5 years of my life gonna be just like a waste of time? Was I just like wasting money? Like, I feel like that kind of mentality, it doesn't matter what industry, what job, whatever you do, you're gonna have those thoughts. So it makes sense why people have those thoughts, because VTubing as a medium is still very new, and like that's how I've always seen it. Is like, granted, there is this like capitalistic like industrialization of it, and it is a very new industry.
There's
but in my eyes, it has always been
stuff.
Right, it's always been a medium to me, and the message is always like, the medium is the message.
That's what I'll be saying.
This is why you're a real one. I fucking love you. I would give you. I'm like, bring it in, girl. Bring it in.
The medium is a message. What are you trying to say?
Like,
yeah.
So like, I don't know. I just like, I get the anxiety, like, but it doesn't matter like what fucking industry you're in. Like, art has always been like that. Especially music has always been like that. Like, there's always going to be the next big thing. There's always going to be trends, especially when it comes to like, I'm not trying to like soapbox too much, but especially when it comes to living in like a capitalist society, like there's always going to be like this fear that something won't have success, but you just have to kind of change your own perspective on what success is. Is financial success what you consider success? There's nothing wrong with that, with wanting to maximize your own financial gain in whatever it is that you're pursuing. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but for me, if that was my goal, girl, I don't think why I would be where I am right now.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
My channel,
You
everything
gotta
about
have
this
a
would
passion.
be
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
So, and I definitely, like, again, like I have such high standards, but they only always apply to myself. For people who want to like really min-max what they make out of money, like min-max how many follows they get, like get as many clicks, views, all of that stuff, like there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's always going to be a caveat. Like, sure, I would love to have like more subs. Everybody wants more subs, or like more like.
Okay, think of all the chroma fashion you could buy if you just
Right,
sponsored by Rain Shadow Legends.
Like, oh my god, think about like all of the cute little.
You
like,
could be an
anime figures I
investor
can have
into
around
the
my-
arts,
right?
KK Cyber. Just
Right,
one small
I could have my
soul
own
cell.
Jets original oil painting in my home.
Just some
kidding,
thing.
but- Yeah, so it's like it is finding a balance,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the thing is I don't have a business brand. Like I
Yeah.
never have. So as long as I'm indie, like I'm just gonna keep doing it my way,
your
and
way. Yeah,
hopefully I don't crash and burn. But I'm not gonna stress about a crash and burn because I'm like, what was it? I think it's so stupid that this was something that Northern Lion brought up was like there's like a diagram,
Yeah.
right? Where if you worry about something and it happens, you worry twice. If you worry about something and it doesn't happen, you worry once. If you don't worry about something and it doesn't happen, you got no problems.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm like, you just gotta not
Yeah.
obsess over when is this gonna happen. And that's, I'm preaching to the choir, I feel like,
Yeah, no,
because I
that's-
also have anxiety and I'm always like,
Yeah. You're saying it out loud because you're also saying it to yourself in some way, and that's like
right,
important.
exactly.
I mean,
I have to keep saying it so that I can say it to myself.
I have like one more, like, I guess, like waxy poetic question to let you soapbox a little bit more, and then we'll get to some fun questions before we wrap up. But do you have like I guess a kind of like a message that you are trying to leave behind each time you make stuff with VTubing? Like something that, like, I guess legacy is once still thinking too far to the future, but just in general, even each day you go live, is there like a little nugget that you want to leave people with when they like you log off and you're like, that was a good stream, that's the kind of energy you wanted to put out?
I guess it's just be in the moment, especially, and just be in the present. I don't know. Maybe that sounds a little too like repetitive, but
it's not
I don't
repetitive.
know. I think that while it would be nice to think about having a legacy and being someone to be remembered, I feel like maybe this is a bit too waxing philosophical.
No, this is your opportunity. Take the
We're
soapbox.
like, we're all going to end up being like dust anyways, right? Like I have made an impact on people that I have, and there will be people that will remember me, but those people aren't gonna last forever either, right? And like as time goes on,
so just while you're here,
I will cease to exist. And there are greats that still exist to this day. And would it be great to be one of those people? Hell yeah. But like, I just want to live my life while it's here and now, and not worry about what my life is going to be like when I'm dead. You know, like I just
you're like,
I just want to make the most out of it while I still have that life. And that's a lot of stuff and a lot of thoughts that I've been thinking more recently, especially because like I dealt with like a personal loss in my life, and just really thinking about like what happens when I'm not here, right? So and I don't know, I've always been fascinated by the cosmos and just understanding like your own presence in the universe, and just knowing that like my lifespan is like a minuscule fraction of what the overall life of like the greater universe that we live in. It's like, but in a way, like I feel like the average person would be like, that's so bleak and existential. But to me, I'm like, that's so freeing, because it doesn't fucking matter what I do. Like nothing matters. It doesn't matter. So why not just fuck around and find out?
Yeah,
you know?
bro.
Like,
That's the KK ethos. We're in the freaking weird internet. Let's just keep
right? I'm like,
make
just
the most
be
of it.
weird. Just do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Make mistakes, get dirty, fail, fuck up, cry about it, scream about it. Like,
exactly.
But whatever you do, don't give up. Like, I feel like try to lean into creativity over destruction and self-destruction. And like, as someone who has had like self-destructive moments of my life, just taking that kind of like devil may care, if that's the phrase, like I almost said devil may cry. I'm like, that is a game. No, that is not what I'm trying to say.
It's a great game, but yeah.
Right? Taking that kind of like, fuck it, why does it matter? And instead of being nihilistic, just saying like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like make mistakes and make shit and just put more stuff out there. Because I think, especially in the world of like, in the like the presence of overconsumption, like there is so much stuff for people to consume. There is so much stuff, and it's literally impossible for you to even watch every anime, play every game that you want to read, or read every book. That I think just making stuff and hoping that it connects to one person is like, that's the message. That's the point, is like enjoying the imperfect aspects of it, enjoying the art of it, the rawness, the emotional, the just being there. I don't know.
Hell yeah. No, I think that's amazing. And I can see after everything we talked about today how VTubing and this format is the way like that you funnel that. That's so brilliant. All right, KK, we now have the fun part. Whichever is the talking about the hot seat, talking about creativity, talking about consumption. Let's find out what you're consuming at the moment, KK Cyber. KK, what's the last book you read / manga, depending either or both?
The last
or the one you're currently working through?
Read. So wait, what am I'm always working through something.
What you working through at the moment? What's the book you currently?
So I was reading, I haven't picked it up in a bit, but I was reading, I think it's called The Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector.
Ooh, which is?
It's a novel. By Clarice Lispector I'm trying to remember exactly, so I'm looking it up. She was an immigrant who immigrated to Brazil from Berlin, actually. So she has a really unique worldview, I would say. It was written back in the 70s is when it came out, or it was published originally. But outside of that, I've been watching just some freak anime. I don't know. I've been watching Popotan recently.
Are you reading any manga at the moment?
Reading manga. So I everyone should read Akane Banashi. It is technically a shonen jump manga, but if you care about performance art or art form or any having a passion for what you do and giving 110% of yourself to your craft, you will find something to take away from that manga. I fucking love that manga. I got up to date on it, and I think I might be like 1 or 2 chapters behind now, just because I was busy the last 2 weeks. But that, what else did I read recently? Hold on, I'm checking my apps.
The book, we got Akabashi, and then you said, what was the anime you're watching?
Oh.
Wait.
I'm watching the anime Popotan.
Which is
not... It's like, okay, so it was originally an adult visual novel. It was a porn game, but there's an anime adaptation.
Incredible. Amazing.
The art of it is it circles back. It's the the character designs are by Akio Watanabe. Yep, Watanabe. So it was like an early 2000s anime that randomly had an English dub. And it's like, there's a lot of fan service in it, but it's so funny because Shimada was like, I was watching it on the TV and she came out and she's like, is that fucking Popotan? And I was like, yep. And she told me how she watched it like on Netflix Xbox with her friends like back in like years ago. And I was like, oh brother.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was definitely like back when like Netflix would just put whatever on their anime section and just like they didn't care, they didn't scream.
They were just like, we just need content on the shelf right now. Anything goes. Talking about what's the last movie you've watched, Kiki-sama?
We watched the Animal Crossing movie.
There's an Animal Crossing movie?
Yes, and it's so fucking cute.
Really? Oh my goodness.
It's so
Yeah.
cute. It came out in 2006. It's
I
it's
had
so
no
precious.
idea.
It's definitely like a little like
Is it-
childish in a way,
Oh.
but like as someone who's still like I enjoy Moomin, like
Yeah.
I think there's a fine line. If I think there's a difference between content for children and content for all ages. I feel like, you know, like or like art that is for children and art that is for all ages. Like for me, I feel like Moomin is all ages. The Animal Crossing movie felt like it was all ages. It doesn't matter if you watch it, if you're a kid or you're an adult, you have something that you can take away from it.
Amazing.
So I will always love media like that. I don't really have like nieces or nephews, but I feel like if you had something, I know with your sisters, with the niece,
I gotta show them Animal
niece and
Crossing.
nephew,
Yeah.
right?
I'll show them when they get
being
old
able to
enough. I'll
have-
show them Totoro and I'll show them the Animal Crossing movie.
Exactly, yeah. Having stuff that like you,
you can watch with
enjoy while they enjoy, I feel like is like
Very
that's
important.
how you know it's really good, right?
It truly is.
And I feel like
what's
there's so
also-
much like crappy kids movies.
Oh, I hate the mentality of like, yeah, this has to be dulled down for a younger audience.
Right.
It can be universal. What's the last song/album you listen to, KK? Or currently you're enjoying?
I picked up I showed it off on stream the other day. I picked up a vinyl of Thelonious Monk, who is a jazz musician.
I love Thelonious Monk.
found-
He loves that. He's the clarinet boy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also played a lot of piano.
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
I went to a vintage mall or like an antique mall on Black
Yeah,
Friday.
Yeah.
Just because like my sister wanted to be out and about. She came to visit with my dad, and I found a random vinyl, and it was the funny thing is it was a press that happened. It was like a pressing from Japan, so like all
Has
of the
the obi?
labels and all of the
It's got the
information on the
yes,
back
yes,
is
yes,
Japanese.
yes, yes. Peak.
But like he, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
So and it was like $28, which
Not
like is
nice.
not bad for like an old
That's
like a
really
vintage
good.
vinyl. And the vinyl itself, like the pressing is really good condition.
Hell
so
yeah. That makes me so
I
happy.
wasn't like scratched to hell. So yeah, I
Amazing.
was listening to that a little bit.
That's
but, yeah.
sweet. And then what's the last meal you ate?
I had some leftover mac and cheese that I made last
Nice.
night. Made with some fusilli. Made like a homemade cheese sauce. Where I use like a blend of a bunch of different cheeses, and I add some
Premium.
peas and some
KK
chicken.
cooking. Yes.
I love to cook.
And now this
Yeah.
is the one question everybody wants the answer to. KK Cyber, what are the top 4 used emojis for you in Discord? And the last 4 used emotes on your phone? Share them with the class. We all want to know. What are they? What are they?
Top
Send them through. Send them
favorites,
through.
Frequently used.
Frequently used
on
Discord.
Discord.
Yep.
I can post some
Post
of
'em.
them in this one, which
Yep.
is KK Cyber Soyo, which I can't even like. It just like expresses so much emotion. It's just like closing your eyes and just being like, it's a very versatile emote.
Send them through in the Discord chat. I'll screenshot them for everyone to see. Post your top
Yes!
4.
Okay, here. I'll post them here. Okay, so we have.
Ooh.
Hold on. I'm an old woman and I'm starting to forget how to use tech sometimes.
And then while I screenshot those ones, you can post through your phone ones.
These are like my 4 emotions. It's
Incredible.
Like, so
Exposed.
I can't, but really.
These
And
are
then what was the other one? You said the top 3 emojis.
Yeah, top 4 emojis in your phone, like the text emojis.
Okay. Hold on.
These are incredible.
Let me see.
This is truly what the people come to the Unpacking Pod for. We want to unpack and expose KK Cyber's emoji usage. These are incredible.
Okay, here's the other ones.
I need to talk about how, like, I think every single VTuber who's been on this fucking pod has the oh whoa in that top. Every one of you motherfuckers has
the crying.
has
the
the
sobbing.
crying sobbing emoji as the top used. I swear. Let me save these. Amazing. Save this. And
At least that was the.
save
I don't know if
it.
that was top used, but that was my most recent emojis.
It speaks volumes. It speaks volumes to the.
Right.
I also the peace sign. I think mine is a peace sign.
I'm always adding the peace sign
Yeah.
to like every. You put
I-
any face and a peace sign
Yes!
next to it, and
Yes!
I'm like, that's
It's the
it,
best.
Man, that's
Oh,
it.
good. Default
It
smiley
is.
peace sign.
Do you want to know what my favorite combination is?
My-
Is the peace sign? Is the wait? It's the cool one. Hold on.
And
Hold on. Let me.
I
send it to you,
love
let me
peace
send
sign
it
and
to you.
nodding, just like nodding and being like nodding in peace sign, nodding peace sign.
Yes.
That's
love
my
that
favorite
one.
combo.
This is like my aura farming combo.
Yes!
I think I technically
Sunglasses,
put it in
peace
reverse
sign.
order, but the sunglasses with the peace sign
Yeah.
of just being like,
It's
yeah,
so
I'm
good.
cool.
It's amazing. KK, thank you so much for being on the podcast and just talking
you so
about your
much for
experience with
having
streaming and your little ethos in this world on the internet. Now, since you are the guest, is there any way you'd like us to raid? Would you like to guide us towards somebody before we do the final shout outs and such? Any way you want to go on the internet?
I don't really know who is live. Let me see.
I can have a look as well. Let's see. Cheryl following. Good chat. It was amazing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Save him
was so
live
happy.
with Devil May Cry. She did raid the stream the other day. We can say hi to Meredith if you know Save Him.
I do. I also know that I mean Kuragi is always I did raid her the other day.
I think we raided Kuragi with Shimada as well, I swear.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, no, I love Kuragi. Okay, so like we don't have to raid them because it's technically not a person.
Mhm.
But
if you send me to the shrimp channel, I'm gonna be crazy.
No, it's the not Game Center CX channel.
Ah.
Do you know the show Game Center CX at
No.
all? Okay,
No.
so there's like he's like the grandfather of streamers basically. So there's this guy in Japan named Arino Kaicho who is he was like a comedian for a while and he grew up liking video games and he had this whole reality show where he would just play games and he's not very good at them. And that's why I'm like it's so funny that people thought that streamers have to be good at games and I'm like no, you can have success as it. But there is a 24/7 live stream of like the episodes, but it's like unofficial. But it's this channel.
Go check that out. Unless should we read over it to it, chat? Let's see.
If you want, it's like, but there's like, it's just a restream. I'm not gonna lie. It's nothing
you know
fancy.
What? That's fair. That seems cool. I'm gonna follow that later. We might say hi to Meredith.
But yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it.
Let's say hi to Meredith if she's starting Devil May Cry, and you did mention the Devil May Cry earlier, so it seems right.
Yes, I still haven't played it. I got
do it. Oh my, wait, you've not played Devil May Cry?
No,
KK, the original,
I
like the first game. You would love it.
No,
like I'm talking OG original PS Devil May Cry. I think you would adore it. The aesthetic, the combat. I actually want, please, KK Devil May.
Okay.
And the second one, best game ever made.
Yeah.
No, the second one's the best one ever made, right? Sorry, guys. Sorry. KK, what are you doing the next few weeks? What can people find you doing on the internet?
Well, VCAT Virtual Market, one of the world's largest virtual markets, is back. It's officially back. So as an ambassador of VCAT, I'm going to be streaming in VR.
Please.
Besides that, we're going to be doing some hand cams, especially because I'm going to make cookies this month. It's Christmas coming soon.
Cookie season.
So I'm going to make some cookies.
Amazing.
And I also got, this is more of the niche stuff. Someone on Throne very kindly gifted me what was referred to as a Wappy dog. It was a Nintendo DS game that has a robot dog companion.
Let's go.
That I found on eBay for like relatively inexpensive. So I'm going to do a stream with Wappy Dog.
Well, guys, please look forward to that. KK Cyber, thank you so much for being on the Unpacking Pod today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll see you guys in the next and final episode of the season. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, let me just do this.
This has been a Cynapse Inc. broadcast. Cynapse Inc. linking you with a safer tomorrow.